up first thing in the morning and wash my face.
I sweep the house and draw water for the family.
Wake up at 5 in the morning, eat something, and then walk for 30 minutes to go for coaching. The morning breeze gives me the energy to walk faster.
I say my prayers and then go and wash the dishes after breakfast. We sleep on mats made from reeds. Mattresses are expensive.
There is one room in our house, a small place to put a cot, and we keep water pots in the kitchen area.
I live in a one-bedroom grass-thatched house made with mud floor.
I've spent the last 6 years in provincial prison. I was 14 years old when they sent me here, and I have another 9 years before I will be released. I remember the day well when the police came. I just returned home from school and there was police waiting for me in my house.
You are under arrest. We are taking you away.
What have I done wrong?
We will tell you all of this at the police station. A young girl in your village has been raped. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Was it you who raped her?
No!
We know you're lying to us. You raped that child, didn't you?
I really have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, write your statement.
I wrote that I was innocent and I knew nothing of this crime.
Look, if you confess and said that you raped the girl, then you'll be allowed to go home.
I spent the next 2 months in prison. It was so terrifying. I was in there with all criminals of all different kinds of ages. I felt really homesick.
My parents borrowed money for my sister Armini's marriage, and to repay those debts, they sent my second sister to Charu to work. Then, when she got married at 15, they sent me to work when I was 7, and I was in bonded labour for 5 years.
I make biddy folds. I make about 4,000 per day. My sister and sometimes my mother help me, but I can do it all by myself. You would not believe that I started this work when I was 7, and now I can do it very fast and get free tacker.
2p.
For 1,000 biddy folds. They're for putting tobacco in. Imagine I'm holding a 2 x 3 inch paper. I put the roller in the corner of the paper and quickly roll it and pull out the roller and put the glue in one corner to stick it. It's easy to make a few. But when you make a few thousand, well, then you start to get pain in the waist and sometimes finger cuts. My eyes water and I feel dizziness. Many girls our age are married off in Bangladesh. Poverty is the main reason, but dowry is another factor, and social pressure. There is a practice or tradition where if children get married at a younger age, then parents need to pay less dowry. And because of that, some girls are married off at 12, 13, 14.
We were 40 in our class last term, but most girls are married. Most of them are 15 years old. Some of them come from well-to-do families, but they get married instead of continuing with their education. Most of our relatives want me to get married. They say I will not be able to marry after education. I don't take their advice seriously. I know I've got a career to make.
I'm getting married in 3 months. He was my boyfriend before for around a year when he lived here with his cousins. I think I fell in love with him immediately. He's good and he's handsome. He's better looking than I am. He works too. He's a builder in Kosovo now and he has his own house there. We got engaged around 10 months ago. He came over with a ring, shoes, presents and some makeup for me. I think I am probably a bit young to get married, but my parents are the ones who are pushing for it. In my culture, my tradition, you buy brides. That's why my parents are in such a hurry, because they'll get money for me. I think they'll get around 2,000 euros. That's standard.
My favourite childminder at the children's home was Rita Podolsky. She had something that she could take the place of a mother for many children, even though she was a stranger to us. She loved everybody equally and everyone would agree with me. She was strict, but at the same time, everyone loved her. On her shift, there was no accidents, no one ran away and nobody was locked up. The director of the home always shouted at us. Once, we just went out to smoke and he called us prostitutes, like standing on the street waiting for men while we were smoking. He would yell at us, "I will send you to Praluki, to the penal colony." I think that this person should not be the director of such a home. I think that a person who runs a place punishment. The staff would put the children into an isolator. I experienced this once. It's a small room. I had to sit totally isolated and with bars on the window. This room is our little prison.
I love to speak out, like tell people what I feel, because that's part of me. That's my character to speak out. If I see there is a situation that I think is wrong, I won't keep it back. In the past, I used to get a whole lot of flogging from my mum, but I never used to see it as something bad to do to a child, because it happened to everyone. My skin used to swell and I'd get scars and stuff, and I'd be so angry. I really wanted to be violent back. I used to be like, oh gosh, if only I could hit this woman back. But I had to restrain it and keep calm and just not speak and keep cool. But then she started going to the EveryChild workshops and she stopped flogging us so much. Many of my friends still go through it. It's because it's the norm in Guyana to do this to your children. It's very difficult to change it because if you talk to a parent, they just say,
This is my child and I can do whatever I want with her.
The thing that makes me most sad is when children are abused, most of the time it's done by their own relatives. These are the people you should look up to, but they're the people who turn against you.
When I was 10, I became a member of a local children's forum. We came to know the Save the Children 10-year dream, which means all children in this world would enjoy their rights. I showed my interest, and through a long selection process, I was selected as one of the global children's panel members, along with about 100 children. I participated in the London meeting twice. I really enjoyed it. Basically, our main aim is to work for children around the world so that they won't get deprived from their rights and their basic needs. And I don't want to hear any more the term child labour.
I did this speech at the Children's Conference on the Right of a Child. It was on TV. I was very nervous. I was telling everybody, including the ministers, the children and the parents, about the ways in which child abuse happens and the way you can prevent it, and how children feel and when they're abused and so forth. It was my first time doing something like this. But then I just looked above the crowd, because when you look at people, it's like eye to eye, so I try to avoid that. And I try to be bold and say each word properly, so they could actually get the message. I had a chance to speak to the minister after the conference. She was the Minister of Social Security and the Rights of the Child. She was quite impressed. She said, "Good job, we really got the message." And that's what I really wanted. I wanted them to know that this kind of abuse can destroy a child's life. I would love to be a dentist. Like in my town, when most of the people's teeth are shaken, I'm the one to pull them out, like with a piece of string tied to the door, and then I pull it out.
One good thing about being in here is the motor mechanics course they allow us to attend. I hope very much that when I'm finally released, I'll become a motor mechanic.
I would like to become an engineer, but my mother and father aren't helping me with my studies and providing supporting material. I'd like to learn to read properly and become a great person. You only have to help us. The government have to arrest people that make children work and send the children to school so that they can learn properly.
I have graduated from the children's home now, and on the 1st of September I started Palasiaslav University. I live by myself. It's great. I am in control. I want to be a psychologist to work with children.
I've been accepted into college to study health and social care. I live in a safe house at the moment because my brother whacked me on the head and I was seriously hurt. But I hope to have my own flat in the future. I wanted to live in Cardiff, but I think I'd like to move away from my family, far away, so they can lean on somebody else. And in the future, youth work sounds good. You get to do different things and meet people.
I want to be a football player. I like it, and I'm good at it. Football is the only thing I've really ever been interested in. I know how to move. I like to play forward, but I need to get into another school with a good football program. I have the name and telephone number of the football coach there. What I don't have is the money to make the call.
When I leave this place, I'm really going to miss my friends. There's a place we go in the evening to talk. It's just a big rock, but we sit around it talking and listening to music from 8 till about 11 or 12 every night.